wanted the little girl to be dead. Whoa.
What are these shots? It's kind of janky.
This was surprisingly janky. We've looked at 2001: A Space Odyssey, but we're looking at something a little different today.
Kubrick would be so pissed, dude.
There's a small twist to this clip. Do you guys know who is playing the monster?
Oh, what's his name? Frickin'. Hey, what's up? Welcome back to the 200th episode of VFX Artist React. This is only the 200th episode of VFX Artist React. This is actually the 340th episode we've released overall.
Holy smokes. Because this is the 200th episode, we actually have a special gift for Wren.
What is going on?
More champagne.
No!
I'm really digging this like champagne-ified Wren that we get on this React episode.
Woo! I'll be right back. I'll be right back. I'll be right back.
Just stuffed it into
Yeah!
Wow.
Wait, really?
No, it's Red Bull.
Yep, that's Red Bull.
It's really cool that so many of you have stayed with us for all these years and watched all these episodes. It's given us a backbone and a scaffolding that we can depend on as we do our other projects and experiments and things that are not always guaranteed to have an audience. It's been a huge privilege to make this show for everyone and to be able to show my friends cool visual effects clips every week.
So I think to celebrate the 200th episode, I think we should do a Harry Potter themed episode today.
Finally.
Yeah, today's the day. So we have a whole bunch of Harry Potter clips for you today, so let's just go ahead and look at this first one. So this is a really cool visual effects shot, and I want to see what you guys notice about this. It's about Mad-Eye Moody and his leg.
I thought it looked pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the way it actually reflected the environment. This is like kind of early days for HDRIs and stuff. The contact shadows are pretty good.
Ren, if we were playing poker, at this point I'd probably fold my hand.
That's so well said. I was preparing to put mine down too. I was like, okay, I'm gonna put these down.
It's a real leg, right? It's a real prop?
You guys still haven't seen it. Pause.
Wait,
This is
I
in the
see
movie.
it. I see it now. There's a green leg with a motion tracking dot
No
behind there.
way! Oh my gosh, they left his little foot in there.
This is actually a shot from the movie. In case anyone is confused about what we're actually seeing here, Mad-Eye Moody, his leg is actually sitting underneath him and through a hole in the chair with the metal leg attached to the front and sticking outward. Classic filmmaking technique to make someone feel like they don't have an appendage. You know, like when you put your arm in your shirt and you're like, oh, I'm missing an arm.
Yeah.
The same thing, but more advanced.
Dude, that's just his leg? Why did they bother to put it in green?
So what I couldn't figure out is why would they go through this whole process to do a whole CG leg and not paint out the foot in the background? Yeah. And that's when I was like, oh, it's because this shot never went to effects.
Oh.
It was never caught by the editor. So this was just in the edit, and the editor probably editing on like a really like dark contrasty screen. Right now we're actually looking at it with the black levels really lifted. Watching this on my monitor, it's way harder to tell. So in the cinema and everywhere else, it's way harder to see this. It was maybe originally supposed to go to VFX, and it just never did.
Imagine the gut drop if you're like that VFX editor or whatever, and you're watching this in the theater and you go, oh no. It's like already released. It's like, just don't mention it. Honestly, I really like stuff like that.
Yeah, me too. It reminds you that like they're human, which really begs the question, if he would have just had his regular black shoe on, it would have been not a mistake at all, and you would have never noticed or pointed it out. But somebody's like, no, I need to wrap it in green and put a red dot on it.
Wait a minute. There's a hidden shoe in this shot too. Look, there it is, right there. Oh, that's the Stormburst High Top by today's sponsor, Vessi. You'll find shoes like this all around the office because Vessis are good for just about anything. They're waterproof, they're vegan, they're durable, and most importantly, they're comfy. Listen, the holidays are coming up, so it's time to get a pair. Heck, they sell more than just shoes. You can get socks, hats, or even this cool coastal hoodie I'm wearing. If you're not sure yet, you get free shipping on orders over $110, you get a 1-year warranty, and you have a worry-free 30-day window for exchanges and returns. So head to Vessi.com to get your holiday shopping out of the way and take advantage of their pre-Black Friday sale, up to 45% off. Now let's see if you can find the hidden shoe in this shot. It's right there. It's not hidden very well. Yep, right there.
I'm curious to see what you guys want us to look at from Harry Potter. So leave a comment down below with some Harry Potter suggestions, and we'll probably look at some of those too. So yeah, thank you.
I actually happen to have a hole in the floor clip that I was prepping.
Oh, really? Oh yeah, dude. I want to see
Okay,
it.
have you guys ever heard of Little Monsters?
You amaze me.
Back then you didn't have access to computers, you had to rely on practical special effects to do your gag. And of course, when I was watching all these movies, I wanted to do these effects, but like, I couldn't cut holes in my floor. So to me, these effects were unreachable,
I mean,
right?
not with that attitude.
But check this out, check this out.
I'm very confused at what I'm looking at.
The monster's trying to re-inflate into the clothes.
Boo.
It's Clint from the Shadow of Mordor short.
Keep an eye out for monsters.
I miss the old him.
All right, so when of course monsters, when they get touched by sunlight, now he's gonna start Wicked Witch of the Westing here.
What's going on?
Bacon and eggs, kid. What do you want? Sunny side up or over easy? Huh?
Those aren't his feet, are they?
Whoa.
Have to get under the bed before the sun totally rises.
Little prosthetic feet right in front of his, and he's going down a practical hole.
There is a small twist to this clip. Do you guys know who is playing the monster?
Okay, I feel like I recognize this monster actor.
He hosts a lot of game shows.
Oh, what's his name? Frickin', is this Howie Mandel?
Yes.
This is Howie Mandel?
This is Howie Mandel.
What the heck?
I don't see it at all.
Yeah, not even a little.
Not even remotely. But it's like at the end there, right off the bat, it already looks a little weird. It looks like a Halloween costume with false legs.
Yeah.
Because I guess that's exactly what it is. His real feet are behind the fake feet on whatever platform that's slowly lowering him down into the hole. What's crazy is that you can't see the hole at all. It looks like I see a bit of a seam for the floorboard there, but they had to make the hole so small that his body probably couldn't fit through it. And so he's going through, and then they cut away and they come back to a different floorboard with a slightly bigger hole for the rest of his body to go through.
You can subtly see his actual leg, kind of like between his legs there in the smoke. Yeah, and his center of gravity is not quite over his feet either. And I think somebody's in there with their hands in the shoes. Yeah, with their arms up
Yeah,
like
they are wiggling and moving.
Yep, so I think somebody's
Flexing.
doing that. I do have a bit of another magic trick shot for us to break down. Wren, you brought an Orphan Black clip a long time ago, episode
I
number
remember that.
76, actually. In the comment on the previous episode, somebody said, you know what, there's a scene in season 5 where they hand clothes back and forth. They're like, it's really well done. Can you tell us how they did it? This is one of the most natural clone shots I've actually ever seen.
I've been running my whole life. I know you have. So have I.
Feels like your classic split screen, though the camera's moving.
Camera's moving, yeah.
And it's still the same shot from when the camera entered.
No. There's no time. I'll buy you time.
They just shared the spot. She put down clothes, and the other girl put down her clothes, and then they swapped them.
Coat comes off.
Coat comes off.
Orange coat and hoodie. Goes
Oh,
into
just
the
on the
chair.
Throws
ground.
it
Clear as
behind
frame.
her.
On the
Throws
chair.
it behind her. Yep.
Yeah, very smart.
Yeah.
You would have to film this in order, but if you can see both pieces of clothing the whole time, it's a chicken and egg situation. Which shot do you do first? They did one first by hiding the other clothes.
Yeah.
Niko, I just want to save my daughter.
What about that? Isn't that slick?
Hands out of frame. Those are different arms. They're not tethered
Yeah.
tethered to the body.
Yeah.
There was like
That
a
was my
slight
guess.
discrepancy. Was that a little freaking? Whoa!
Isn't that good? If you look really carefully, you can see the double's arms overlap with her shoulder just a little bit. So
It's
subtle.
super subtle. That's really cool.
The camera's motion controlled, so it's on basically a robot arm. And so it's reproducing the motion each time. The actress has to hit the timing and the beats exactly for both takes. So right there, what did they do right there?
Look at her coat in particular on the right. You see the fade
Oh.
there? You see the fade?
Yeah, that was actually kind
So-
of a blatant
Yeah.
crossfade there.
Right in front of our eyes.
Right in front of our eyes. But yeah, I mean, that's magic for you. It's all about misdirection.
It's so well matched. It's so risky too. Like you have to have somebody on set doing the shots and be like, yeah, it works.
Yeah.
Let's clear it up, wrap it up. Otherwise, you're not gonna be able to come back and redo that if it doesn't work.
Dude, you saw that immediately.
It is hard to see, but yeah, once you see it. And it's funny because if I was the one who was doing the blending, I would be so stinking tempted to add a digital push in, you know what I mean?
Yeah, just
like to just
something.
frame it out, but
It works.
in the moment it totally works. And shout out to the freaking choreography. Like that must have taken forever to figure out.
I'll buy you time. Time for Kira.
When she picks up the cloak, there's a hint of a blend. Whoop, right there.
Yeah,
Yeah, it fades
okay,
through.
yeah.
It actually fades on top of the wing.
Yeah, so it's like she grabs it and the mask expands outwards to cover it, and then it gets cut to just the clean plate of the computer. We talked about the clone effects on Mickey 17 and how advanced those were, but it's like they've got the CG budget to do full face replacements, full head replacements, deep fakes, all that stuff. This is just compositing at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's just split screening. Like, this is what Zach King was doing 10 years ago on his channel. He's still doing it now too, but these are basic effects executed very cleanly.
And of course, a camera move that is repeatable.
It's been 200 episodes. If you're not subscribed by now, I don't know what to say. So, you know, I'm not going to convince you at this point.
Well, real quick before we get back to Harry Potter, speaking of effects that you don't really notice, I actually have a clip I'd like to show you.
Oh, yeah?
And then we'll get back, I promise.
Okay.
Yeah. I saw the Thunderbolts last night.
Let's do this.
We are the Thunderbolts!
And I want to show you one fight scene in particular where I'll just say there's a lot more visual effects going on than you might expect.
Oh, I should have aimed for the body. Ah, I should have aimed for the legs.
Whoa, she did not look like
Wait.
she was in the shot there.
The ground looks like it's not in the
Ground is
shot.
not real. What was that? Is the set real? What's
It's
real?
gotta be, but I feel like the floor isn't. I bet the floor is real, except there's a lot of shots with his pads on the floor, and those are getting painted out and moved.
Whoa.
What are these
Whoa.
shots?
Dude, that was a shot straight out of the gravity gun.
Woo! Zing! I'm not trying to be mean, because also this is like way better than anything I could do, but like, it's kind of janky.
This was
It's kind of janky.
this was surprisingly janky. For me, it's all like the stunt pulls and stuff like that.
The motion's so weird.
The motion is weird. It's the motion that gets me on this. Like, I can get behind the bouncing of the shield and all that stuff, but like, when you get hit, you should get like thrown backwards immediately and maybe slow down as you're flying away, not accelerate as you're flying away, and also have a bit of a stuttery action before you, I don't know, man, yeah.
Like compared to the clip that you just showed us, where it was like immaculately planned and executed to hide the difficult things, this is kind of the downside, so to speak, of being able to fix anything in post in a way, because you kind of can go ham, and like visual effects houses are so good these days that they can bridge a lot of those gaps, but there are some where you still feel like something's off, you know, something's a little wrong.
Also, if you look at the ground, like it's very much CG ground. And there's a part where you can see her fingers on like these grates and like just hint that slide. And just, I'm reminded of all the challenges we've had with motion tracking. Because the thing is, like, if she's on a pad and she's doing this, the pad squishes a little bit. So her fingers are technically through the floor. So even if it was perfectly tracked, you're still gonna get a little bit of drift because things aren't actually on the same plane.
Yeah, that's why I brought this clip in particular, because it's kind of like a hodgepodge of like, there's some really cool things going on, and there's some really tough stuff going on as well.
That's a good way of putting it.
Yeah. When I first saw this scene, this shot caught my eye, mainly because of the middle part of the shot.
Yeah.
Where the hair's going nuts. There's something about that was like right there. I was
Yeah.
like, whoa,
It's
whoa.
the camera. The camera speed. It's like it goes and kind of stutters and then keeps going. It's like,
Yeah. So I thought that they had transitioned from one take to another at that point, or maybe they had 3 different takes that they had combined. But what is really interesting about this approach in particular is it's only 2 takes, and the transition doesn't take place there. Wren, you totally nailed it. It takes place in her final resting pose. Because of course, with the actress, you're not going to throw her away. That's the stunt woman who gets thrown. And then once the stunt woman lands, you need to blend into Florence, already on the ground. Problem is, with plate A and plate B, they had quite dissimilar perspectives on the same ground. If you try to blend in 2D between those two things, the entire image would warp in a really upsetting way. Digital Domain handled this, and they're left with this difficult situation of how do you rectify these 2 plates that are quite different overall? They ended up creating a CG camera that was tracked to the first shot and the second shot, but blended between the two in order to rectify the moves of those 2 cameras. Then they fully rotoed Stunt Woman, fully rotoed Florence, and yes, most of the environment is completely digital. They also do, for the actual final pose, really quickly enter full siege territory to blend into Florence from the stunt woman. And once you blend into CG, you can just animate those feet into Florence's position and then blend back into the real footage again.
I don't know why, but for some reason this plate stitch shot, which is obviously super rough and not final, for some reason that plays better in my head than what the final thing ended up being.
I agree. I think it's just the camera motion's not so crazy. The camera's just moving over and looking as opposed to doing this like, whoop!
Yeah, it's
right
that
in the
bounce
middle.
down.
Invariably, whatever you capture in the camera is moving around in a 2D space on your screen. And when you start adding your artificial camera motions to that, you're messing with this little bit of like emotion that's not part of the scene, but like just part of how things are playing on your TV. And when things move weird, it catches your eye weird.
Honestly, hats off to the people who had to work on this shot, because this is an incredibly challenging shot to try to make work.
Let's talk about the void.
I don't know what I'm looking at up here. Doesn't look good.
Fools, you should know by now.
Literally, dude.
Do
you
not
live
shoot
in-
your guns at people with capes who are flying.
It's so stupid. You live in the same world of the Avengers. Like, what are you doing?
Are you tired of fighting? Let me help you.
Oh, cool.
The inspiration for this effect, as dark as it is actually the shadows created when the Hiroshima bomb dropped. Like, you're just immediately gone. Yeah.
That was what I was reminded of immediately when I saw that, and I moved on.
Yeah.
Because I didn't dwell on that thought.
And it's funny because when they were dialing in the shading and how black the black should be inside of this silhouette, they were also accounting in the back of their mind for when they uploaded the trailer to YouTube. And people gamma boost it. And they're like, we want to make sure that you can't just reveal all of him underneath there.
Wow.
So yeah, they were super particular.
You're safe, little one.
Oh, she got shadowed? Dang, she just died.
So intimidating. It was designed to be a real sharp contrast to the Thanos snap, which is very sad and drawn out, and this is just like, okay, I guess you're gone.
Yeah, Marvel has to invent many different ways to like kill people in a PG-13 manner.
Yeah.
Oh, is it just another dimension? Are they all not actually dead?
I know. Spoiler alert, they go into the void.
I wanted the little girl to be dead.
And then we also have a clone effect in this movie too. We're seeing it more and more.
Wow, wow. That's really good.
Heck yeah.
Face replacements?
It's gotta be. I mean, after Deadpool stuck his finger, whatever, after Professor X's sister stuck her fingers through a guy's face and it looked fully photoreal, at this point it's like, yeah, I might as well just do a full CG human because that's easy now.
Yeah, it's like we're now at a point in time where doing a sequence like this is easier just to have a second actor and just do the whole sequence like you would and just replace the face.
And the way that they're replacing the face is very similar to what we've seen in Sinners and what we've seen in Mickey 17 as well, where they're using these really high quality deepfake approaches. What's interesting though, is this shot is not.
I was gonna say, I was like, the camera isn't really moving through space, so you can easily do like a split screen, well, kind of a split screen.
For the actual contact that's being made, that's all digital manipulation of the arm, which is super interesting.
Looks like they did a very hyper-specific deepfake where they basically had her do the performance with a bunch of lighting angles. So they, like the deepfake's trained exactly on that data for that angle so you can recreate it.
And that's the fun part is we're seeing, you know, Mickey 17 and Sinners approach for that radial rig or getting it on set, all the training data in the same lighting, in the same environment. It doesn't look like they did that here, but I mean, that seems to be the way they're trending and the results are insane. One thing I will give a shout out for, and I actually want to make special mention of, for Digital Domain, and I think Weta are starting to do this now as well, in their breakdowns, they're narrating the breakdown, which is so top notch. So whoever's responsible for breakdowns, keep doing that. That's really helpful.
We've looked at 2001: A Space Odyssey a couple times before on the show, but we're looking at something a little different today. There are over 200 visual effects shots for this movie, and each one of them had to go through 10 different departments. Stanley Kubrick made a big point of basically trying to film this whole movie and make it seem like it was a first-generation film pass.
What does that mean?
First generation film pass is like whatever light hits the film for the first time, that's what you get at the end. But if you're doing visual effects and whatnot, you're like doing holdout mats and you're filming stuff through that to expose another piece of film, and then you get degradations. It's like doing a photocopy of a photocopy of a photocopy. The quality degrades every time you do that pass. But they did this in such a way that's really interesting because they don't lose quality. But on top of that, the footage I'm bringing is actually about the matte lines that you can see. A colorist on YouTube was able to get the HDR version of this movie that has way more color and contrast and dynamic range in it, and he essentially just boosted the exposure on all of the shots from the movie so that we can now actually see the original matte lines.
Oh, whoa. Kubrick would be so pissed, dude.
I've been talking with the guy who did this. He sent us the original clips with the keyframed exposure differences so we can kind of see before and after. And there's a few things that I'm still kind of confused about, because sometimes it's literally just a double exposure. Like right here, you can see the stars actually shining through the spaceship because they just filmed all the shots and just re-exposed those shots. But for shots like this, you need a holdout mat.
And a holdout mat is where you have a little basically piece of black covering your film there, so that part of the film doesn't get exposed, and you later on expose something new in that spot with the rest of the film then covered so that it doesn't expose the rest of the film. Whatever you shoot the model with on your film, that's the same piece of film that you need to shoot everything else with and then project onto like your final master film strip. You can't project it onto another piece of film, then project it onto another piece of film. That's when you start going through the different generations.
And there's a really interesting technique that they employed to be able to do this while still making it look like they didn't do that. So it's a foreground that they're actually standing on, a front projection background, or a matte painting or whatever, and that's on the film. And then they have to do a holdout mat for the spaceship coming down, and then the stars not to expose through the dark parts of their helmets.
Oh, I see. Interesting.
So when they did the second exposure for the spaceship, for example, that's the shape of the mat that they laid down to then not hit the rest of the film.
Yeah.
And it's funny, you don't even really notice the missing patch of stars.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the thing, is that like there should be stars there. I feel like I would notice that.
Yeah, same.
But I never did. This one's really interesting because you see the stars blip out of existence right before they actually get occluded by the ship, because there's a whole mat around it that is slightly expanded outside of the shape. And again, some of the original shot and the structure holding these spaceships up are still being exposed, even though everything's being covered in black velvet that absorbs the light and reflections, so it's not going to expose well on camera. Yeah, here we go.
Oh yeah, there's the mask. Pop. Pop.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Pop.
see those stars disappearing? But the main thing they did differently here is that they would take the original 65mm print and then they would expose into 3 different color channels on black and white film.
Oh wow.
So they would take their original 65mm film master and create 3 different masters that are 3 black and white film strips. So they would take that shot and they would project that through a red filter onto black and white film, so only the red light is exposing that black and white film, and then the blue light and then the green light. And when you recombine those, you get a color image. But the reason why they did that is because black and white film has much better grain, much smaller grain crystals. You don't get any of the sort of artifacts and degradation that you would get if you're trying to expose all 3 color channels to another piece of color film.
It's basically higher resolution.
Yeah, exactly. That was how they maintained that first generation quality look.
Interesting. So it wasn't first generation. They would go through at least one optical printing process, but they got around the degradation by printing effectively to an uncompressed file, aka black and white film.
Yeah, it's just fascinating to me because it's like, we're only just now seeing this thanks to Alchemy Color putting this together. The movie has been out for almost 60 years, and no one's ever been able to see these mats before because it wasn't possible until the HDR version of this came out.
So what I'm learning from this is that if we really want to prove the moon landing was real, we need the HDR version of that footage. Then we can know for sure.
That's super cool. It's super cool that Alchemy Color did this. It's such an awesome like insight into like the straightforward but complicated nature of visual effects here.
Like obviously the movie looks garbage exposed up like this, but when you actually see the original clips, they're all super crispy, and they completely hid the fact that they're just the traditional visual effects sequences that you would get from the time by splitting out the color channels into black and white film to get the better quality film crystals.
That's crazy. I'd never heard that before. That's insane.
Yeah, that's really awesome.
Anyway, thank you so much for watching this. Thank you so much for sticking around for 200 episodes of this. 340 technically, but
Oh yeah, and we have all these Harry Potter clips we didn't get to in this episode. Subscribe so you don't miss it. We'll do a Harry Potter episode soon.
Yeah.
Just, it's coming.
Yeah.
I promise.
yeah, we got a little sidetracked today.
And leave a comment down below. What other Harry Potter clips should we look at next?